Hey everyone, this is your host Brian, and welcome to episode 17. Today's topic, fortune cookies. They look Chinese, they sound Chinese, but they're actually an American invention, which is to say they're hollow, they're full of lies, and leave a bad taste in the mouth. Find out about all that and more on this week's episode of the Pause Button Podcast.
Everybody's like appalled by that. I thought it was okay because it's just a quote from the movie.
Which movie is that?
Iron Man 3.
That's right. Okay. I was like, all I heard initially was we're going into fortune cookies and the relationship to Americans. I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. But yeah, no, it landed. I think that was fine.
Some would say you never saw that coming.
No, it's not.
Hey.
I think we're all just on edge because we know how racist you can be.
Whoa. Whoa. That's a big drop. Okay. I mean, you're wrong.
Yeah, nah, is he?
Yeah. So here's what I got written. So I have the intro written down in my notes. The next thing I have says intro discussion and then a colon. And then nothing until we get into everything else. So, what are we going to talk about? What's our intro discussion today?
Well, let's talk about how you guys went to C2E2 yesterday.
Yeah, you know what? We actually said we would talk about C2E2, so let's talk about C2E2.
We went in on this Saturday.
It was a fun time, very crowded. We all contracted coronavirus, so we'll help spread that.
Just for any listeners who don't know, what is exactly C2E2?
Chicago Comic-Con.
Cool. What's it? Chicago Convention of Entertainment Expo or something.
It's like Chicago Comic-Con.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Well, C2E2. It's kind of what does that mean? That's my guess. I think it's something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
So lots of cosplaying panels and stuff. You
yeah,
guys go to any
they
panels?
had a lot of. They had Mark Ruffalo there. Oh. They had the cast of Critical Role, which I'm a big fan of.
The boys
see
cast.
Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
No, he's behind a curtain.
Yeah, the super famous people. Yeah,
saw Carl Urban though.
Carl Urban, yeah, we did see Carl Urban.
Nice.
They have the cast of Ruby, some of the main characters, minus Lindsay Jones, the voice of the main character.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, they also had Black Ranger, the Blue Ranger, and the Red Ranger just on the sales floor.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Hanging out.
Yeah,
they're just hanging
you
out.
Walk right up to them.
Which one's notoriously an asshole? Is that the Blue Ranger?
What?
I don't know about that.
I heard something about that.
What?
I have no idea.
Allegedly. I have no proof.
If I had to guess, it would be the Red Ranger since he was the one by himself.
That's true. He was off in the corner. The other two were sharing a booth. And
yeah, they were hanging out.
Completely
That's like
away.
being at a music convention and like Guns N' Roses shows up and they're like, "Oh, you guys all together?" Well, no, Axl Rose is over here, Slash is and the rest of the band's over here. Like, huh? Okay, that's interesting. Huh. There's so many. I feel like this year you could really see the difference between all the things that it brings in. Obviously it's not just comics anymore. There's movies and there's anime and the manga and I feel like this year especially I noticed all those different things being represented pretty more evenly than normal. You could definitely tell the biggest things are the Star Wars and I would say anime figures I saw quite a bit of.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was the same anime figures at every booth, and half of them are scantily clad teenagers, which is very. I kept bringing it up to Devontae that I would very much like to purchase a figure of a female One Piece character, but I can't because every single one is like in a bikini or pouring water on themselves. I'm like, I'm not displaying that in my bedroom. That's not the life I want to live.
Well,
not
even
erotic,
just the
it's
fact
art.
of like, even just checking out with it, like, here I am. I am a disgusting person. Please.
Even so, like. It's great to see like kids there, like who they enjoy this stuff, and in middle school and all that, it's not like the most popular thing to talk about how you like anime or whatever, and then they can go to this convention and feel like among people like them, and then they look at the wall of just like anime tits all over, and it's just like, I mean, everything else is nice. Why do we have to have so many anime titties, man? It's unbelievable. Everything else was nice though.
Pat just like almost knocked his mic over.
The filter's a little off, but that's okay, that's fine.
We get more of Pat's unfiltered voice today.
Yeah, I guess. My throat's going. The allergy season has never quite destroyed me quite like this year. So
We're just getting started, man. We're just getting started.
now
seriously.
winter's mine.
Oh, really?
Spring can affect me, but it doesn't affect me like winter does.
Oh.
That's interesting. Yeah, usually spring's the famous, pollen and tree sap and yeah.
For sure.
Devontae, when do your allergies hit? Today's topic is allergies, so
Allergies,
It's definitely
huh?
not.
Year round I have asthma. No, but
You actually?
I do have asthma actually, but it's springtime. When the dandelions are going crazy.
yeah. I
all over
knew.
the place.
Can we name this podcast Asthmatics Anonymous AA?
Too late.
We should have Jenna on. I know she has really bad asthma.
We chose a far weaker name.
It's not taken yet. You guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome to the Pause Button Podcast. Every other week, your four favorite hosts, Pat, Joey, Devontae, me, and sometimes Tom the Tech Guy, will discuss a pop culture topic, usually related to movies, music, shows, or video games, or maybe something different like today, and we'll do our darndest to entertain you along the way. You can expect surprising facts, funny jokes, deeply depressing monologues, and of course, unrelated witty banter. So sit down, shut up, and open your ears. It's time to hit pause.
Cool.
What's today's topic?
Memes.
Yeah, we're doing memes, man. We're gonna get dink.
Yeah.
It's time to get dink.
All right, bud.
Settle down.
You're a millennial, not a Gen Zer. You're not young enough to use dank.
Stop trying to appeal to the kids. It's not who this is for.
It's not.
I don't think so.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not. So I you know that meme is on Merriam-Webster's website, right? It's in the dictionary.
Yeah.
So the definition of a meme, according to them, is an idea, behavior, style, or usage that spreads from person to person within a culture.
Man, that's the best way to start every paper that every professor will tell you. Start with the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of the topic.
Hey, I didn't start off with an MLK quote or something like that, okay?
No, you chose the worst option.
Well, we talked about how on the dying genre episode, we defined dying genres at the end. Now we're defining meme at the beginning. So
Yeah. I think it's probably for the best.
learning from our mistakes.
I guess, but it's not really it's not that subjective. It's not like the dying genre thing.
We get to the end today. I'm like, in conclusion,
We all know what a
memes.
meme is.
So what do you guys know about the history of memes?
I know that while the term meme has existed since the 70s, memes as we know them now is these internet phenomena kind of popped up in I want to say early 2000s and maybe late 90s. We may have seen a few, but they became popularized. And initially they were always just pictures with words with some text on the top and the bottom. And then they've sort of evolved so that meme is a phrase that can be used for general internet sensations. So you'll see TikToks or Vines or GIFs or stuff like that used as quote unquote memes.
Yeah.
Could be simple as a quote. Could be a whole. I mean, you could talk about Rick rolling where it's a whole song.
Yeah. Or back in the day, rage comics that were used for a while.
Yeah. I
When
was
we were
actually
younger.
really into those, and I kind of
Same.
feel bad about it.
I
now.
cringe when I look at those now. I'm like, ooh, those were not funny.
Yeah. I remember me and my freshman year roommate in college, we would both sit at our desks in our dorm room, and we would just be on our rage memes or whatever
And you
it
just
was.
scroll through 'em?
And we would scroll through them, and we'd be like, did you see? And we wouldn't even finish. We'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny.
And you just keep going. Yeah. We've all had those moments. Yeah.
The epitome of that chortle that you do when you see something funny. You're like, yeah.
Just a little bit faster air out the nose.
Yeah.
Moving on. So I found out the word was actually created in the 70s. Pat, you're talking about how it was from then. Some guy named Richard Dawkins wrote a book called The Selfish Gene and talked about how memes are there's a thing called meme theory or meme ticks or something. Or it's mathematics, but meme instead of math. I don't know how to pronounce it. and it kind of described how like ideas evolve just like biology did. So like I
like how you looked at me. You're like, maybe there's some insight.
your degree's in
Like
biology, right?
biology.
Like, so I don't know. It was interesting. And then a lot of people talk about. Do you guys know the Kilroy was here thing from World War II?
That sounds like really familiar. I feel
The
like
big
I've
nose
seen
guy
it.
looking over the wall.
Well, not. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually do. Yeah.
Yeah, so they would write that, and that kind of became like the first worldwide meme. Like people just kind of all knew it. I have no idea who Kilroy is or anything, but it exists.
Isn't that like what Rush brought up? Kilroy
Uncomfortable silence.
in they're like Kilroy. And then they had a song that way.
That Sticks.
Oh, it's
That's
Sticks.
Sticks.
What?
Ah, crap.
What?
It was Sticks.
Mr. Roboto.
That's right. It was Mr. Roboto. They end that. There was a point to it. There was a point to it. I was right.
No one knows what that
I
song
couldn't
means.
tell if you were
man.
messing around or just like
Yeah.
very unconfident in what you were saying.
I was very much unconfident.
I mean, so nowadays, of course, you were saying like memes have so much. It's hard to explain. Like, there's a definition in the dictionary, but I mean, it's everything from music to like the old school, like the top text and the bottom text, like the awkward penguin and the yes kid and all that. And then you have like the deep dank memes that make like no sense, where it's deep fried with the red eyes and everything, or just a quote from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's all over.
Yeah.
So where do you go for memes? Where do your memes come from?
For me, it's generally Reddit, our Bikini Bottom Twitter for some solid SpongeBob memes.
Yeah.
I like our history memes.
Oh, so
There's
good.
some really great ones. Unfortunately, a lot of it tends to be on like the same historical events.
World War II.
World War II, Holy Roman Empire, stuff like that. But when you get like some really just random references to history as a meme, oh man, it hits good.
And it's very well known that Pat often looks up memes while we're recording.
Absolutely. I have no regrets about it.
It makes good content.
On our like Twitter and Instagram, how about after this we post some of our favorite memes?
That's
and
a
stuff?
really good idea.
Like Pat can post that one with the orange.
Oh my god. So that's a good question. Well, what are some of our favorite memes? If we're gonna be like, hey, go look up this meme, it's enjoyable.
I still enjoy Dat Boy.
Dad Boy was great,
That
man.
was good.
Forever in our hearts.
I think he kind of went the wayside in popularity for Caveman SpongeBob.
Yeah.
That one came in like right at the tail end.
Yeah, you got a good memory of like a meme timeline.
Yeah.
Where things went and all that.
We call that a memery.
No.
Podcast canceled.
Devontae, what
Maybe just joke canceled.
Devontae, what are your favorite memes?
So yeah, I like all the SpongeBob memes. But one of my favorite is like the unless meme. That's one of my favorite memes. So like, we can go create a house in Minecraft, and you can live in my Minecraft house, but we don't have to do that. Unless. and there's always, most of the time I see him as the guy with the Italian guy with the bandana, and he just like looks back at you. It's so good.
So the fact that you bring up the look back at you, I don't know if it counts as a GIF, but the GIF of Bub the cat, the one with his tongue sticking out, where he's looking at a laptop and his back's to you, and then his face shows up on the laptop, and then he looks back at the camera, and it just repeats over and over. I can cry from that, just watching it over and over and over. It's never not funny.
I knew we were going to hear about Bub the cat today.
Dude.
I knew it
Dude.
because of you.
Never fails to make me happy.
I also enjoy tripping through times images where it's like portraits, like really old, like Renaissance era portraits or certain time periods where someone in the image has this just really strange face in the middle of everything. So like, for instance, that orange meme that I brought up of the woman with the orange, like that's a tripping through time image where she just has this look on her face where she's like, hold up. It's those.
There's like that one, I don't know if you guys saw it. It was like a very like Rubenesque looking guy, like real chubby, and he had that little like why though or whatever thing next to him. That's all I can explain it as. I don't have a better description than that. But I loved that.
I think I remember that one a little bit. There was that one, Pat, where you took the guy and made him into my D&D character.
Yeah.
That one's great.
I'm trying to look for memes on my
Yeah.
pictures. Like, oh, I want to look at more.
We could do for the next couple minutes. We could just sit here and scroll through memes. Hey, did you see? Yeah.
I don't know
let's
about
keep
that.
going.
I don't feel like that's great audio content.
I love the not to get too political, but I love the ones 4 years ago when Jeb Bush was running and the please clap, and then the whole country had voted for him, and he had that look of just oh yes, I love that.
Yeah, those are solid memes.
Yeah.
The whole I love the wholesome ones too.
Yeah, there was a big surge of the Baby Yoda ones and stuff.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
They
there
were
were.
those were pretty wholesome.
The internet meme community loved that guy who was in that kid show, Carl Stefansson.
Yeah, and he has kind of gotten immortalized now because he ended up passing away, I think as the result of cancer.
Yeah.
And it sort of became the god of our dank memes, and they because he had been such a major
He was involved.
a major meme, and he actually on his YouTube channel used to post thanks for using my images to post memes that aren't meant to put other people down and are meant to bring awareness to things. So they kind of I've sort of put him up as a figurehead of that subreddit and that just genre of memes. I've seen him praised on 4chan and stuff before too.
Yeah. Even really recently, they were doing a memorial for Kobe Bryant, and Michael Jordan got up to give a speech. And I don't know if you guys know about this. Obviously,
No, I
Devontae
haven't.
does because he's cracking up. But he got up to give a speech about Kobe Bryant, and he started crying during it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I told my wife that I wasn't going to cry because I didn't want to see any more of those goddamn Michael Jordan crying memes. But here I am.
He's bawling. It's you can't even hide it. It's so bad. People just mean the heck out of him.
So that's actually funny. Of there's that infamous picture of Beyonce that she tried to get paid to pay people to take off the internet, and it
my
only
God.
grew. And
There's also the I can't remember, is the protest at a college campus, and there's the image of the SWAT guy just walking by and all the people kneeling and
Spraying them in the face,
pepper
yeah.
spraying them in the face. That got turned into a meme. So sometimes memes are used as these statements of no, you can't get rid of this picture, or this something to promote, to make something more noticed than it would have been otherwise.
Definitely, yeah. It's actually it makes me kind of ashamed to say it, but I feel like I've learned about a lot of things that happen politically sometimes because of
Oh, yeah.
memes.
yeah,
Absolutely.
no. I don't think you. I mean, there's. I guess you could say you could feel some shame from it because you want to say up to date from a valid news source.
Well, yeah, and I just
Nah.
want to seem like an adult.
Yeah. But I mean, staying up to date in any way is better than not staying up to date at all, right?
True.
I mean, don't go to our memes to try to stay up to date on the coronavirus. That's probably not a good idea, but
Yeah. I bet there's a lot of coronavirus memes out there right now.
There's so many. Anything that's popular, it just gets memed right away, and then that's just how the internet does it. It's almost like a whole language. You could just talk with me. There was this one I saw on Reddit. It was this box with just black lines in it, and this guy was like, "I hate that I know what this is," and everyone's like, "What do you mean? It's just a bunch of black lines." And it was an internet comic about some guy whose wife got cancer, and then he had to bury her or something. It was just supposed to be an emotional comic, but it was done in such a way that everyone's like, "Dude, get out of here! This is poorly done." And it became so famous that you can just draw black lines, and then someone's like, "Oh yeah, I know that meme." What? Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I actually got a meme that's going around recently. It's more of a question, but this question has now turned into a meme.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Kool-Aid Man
Oh god,
the jar or the liquid?
what's his title?
Kool-Aid Man.
Kool-Aid Man. So he's the Kool-Aid.
So, our shout out to one a friend, Dan, I won't say his last name, but he posted a GIF of a video of the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh no, I don't like this.
On Facebook.
The Kool-Aid came out, didn't it? No?
Kool-Aid Man put the Kool-Aid himself while he was in the jar. So is he just a liquid? So he went in the cabinet, grabbed some Kool-Aid. It was a commercial for Kool-Aid. grabbed the Kool-Aid out of the cabinet. The water was just inside the jar, and he pours the Kool-Aid in and then shakes. So, like, is he just the liquid, or is he actually the jar?
What if he's just like water, like
He's
doing
just water.
drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be water.
Just like that
It could've
coked
all
up
been a
Kool-Aid
lie.
guy's always crashing through walls.
What if it's the sum of his parts? You know? Like, your hand isn't you. Your eyes aren't you. Everything all together is you.
That was so philosophical, it made me mad.
And I'm sure we've seen the
Doesn't belong
Kool-Aid Man
here.
like give parts of his liquid to others in the past. Recently, we've seen in the Super Bowl him pouring parts of himself out and resurrecting Baby Nut.
I don't know where this is going, man.
So, like, is he the
Baby
jar then?
nut.
Is like
I
the
think he
Kool-Aid
might
just
be
his
the jar.
Yeah,
I
he
think
might
the
be the jar.
Kool-Aid's-
It's just like his blood.
Yeah.
Take
Exactly.
this and drink it.
Which is weird.
This
Yeah.
is my blood for you. Like,
exactly.
Kool-Aid Man is Jesus.
The second coming, that's why so many cults use Kool-Aid.
Oh,
poured himself out for us.
Have they ever turned that into like an advertising opportunity? Like that would be like dark, but it might
I
be kind
doubt
of
it.
funny. I don't know.
I
Something tells
highly
me
doubt
no. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that would work because based off advertisement, like how Quiznos tried to use like rats and cockroaches, probably won't work.
it. So, since we're talking about like Kool-Aid, which is the mascot of a big business, I've noticed a lot of businesses have been trying to use memes to promote their product and sell.
Yeah.
So, like this Baby Nut thing recently popped up, and that's
They wanted that to
a
be a
big
meme.
attempt. They wanted it to try. Yeah, as soon as those commercials came out, like I remember a Baby Nut meme page popped up on Twitter that was so totally blatantly planters trying to like create a page. They're pretending they were just fans, but like no fan immediately was like, "Yeah, I need the meme. I need to create the meme page for Baby Nut," and I already have pre-rendered images of Baby Nut doing things. That's not how that works. And you'll see like Wendy's got really popular for like using memes to like shit on people.
Yeah.
And I know Arby's has it and it seems to work. People follow these social media accounts
Well,
for these
especially when it's
businesses.
done like so well. Like Wendy's did a really good job with it.
Oh yeah, Wendy's is great at it. They're like the MVP of memeing
Yeah.
and just shitting on people on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, I guess I got a question for you then. Can you predict memes? Can you make a meme, or is it completely chaos and it just has to happen
I
on
think
its own?
yes, there is ways of doing that. There is a popular subreddit called Our Meme Economy, where you sort of predict. You'll pull out an image and sort of predict whether or not it's going to be the next big meme. And by doing that, I mean, there's plenty of them that are images that are funny like once, and then they'll get upvoted, but really they shouldn't be because you can tell that that's not the sort of image that works for more than one meme.
Right.
But can you control the market? Can you
Yeah.
try to make a meme
Yeah,
happen?
you can absolutely flood the market.
So, what's like the secret to it, you think, of coming up with a meme? If you're like, I'm going to
Oh, there's a lot of
big meme.
it depends on. I'm certain there's variations. It depends on the community of memes you want to hit too.
I'm just,
You get something like Baby Yoda.
yeah.
Baby Yoda was guaranteed to always be a meme, and I think you could tell Disney knew that was going to
Oh, yeah.
become popular. And just by becoming popular, you do become a meme.
Yeah.
So
There were-
that was guaranteed.
There were loads of memes last year about Thanos and Endgame and all that. 'cause
Exactly.
It was a big movie. But then also the same
So
year,
popularity is part of it.
But then the same year, Tom and Jerry became a big meme.
That was
Like,
that
it's
was
crazy.
way longer than just that year.
Oh, really?
That's been going for a long time building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's weird that a cartoon when was Tom and
Nostalgia
Jerry?
plays a big
yeah.
part in memeing.
Yeah. I think especially because memes are so much of a like they really gained popularity more recently, I guess. Like Pat said, maybe like in the early 2000s. I think I don't remember where I was going with that. I totally forgot what I was saying.
You're doing a great job here.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, I think Brian makes a point though. Like you can kind of get away with creating any sort of meme. So like think about it, the Sponge Car meme. That episode probably appeared on like Nickelodeon like 2003,
Okay.
and it took about 15 years for it to become a meme, basically. So I think it's just finding something that's like obscure in either media, and you just create a picture of it and put it out there, and it just kind of trends from there.
But okay, next question. How did memes get so weird? I got an intro here.
They've always been weird.
Let me read through what I got here. So, one of the top posts on our meme and the subreddit is memes in 2012, and then it's that overly attached girlfriend. You guys all know that one, right? With the big wide eyes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and she says, "Oh, you found someone else? I'm pregnant." And that was a meme in 2012. And then memes in 2019, and it's a watermelon holding the pistol saying, "Don't make me commit a melody."
memes definitely, like, it's an art. Like, it's something that's,
Yeah.
I think it's gotten a lot better over time.
Has it gotten better, or is it that as it evolves and moves into a new culture, we evolve with it, and that's how it enjoys? It's
That's
like fashion.
memetics.
It's
That's
sort
what
of
I was
like
talking about. It
fashion.
evolved.
Like we look at the '90s fashion and we go, "Well, that's a little weird." Although now our fashion is starting to lean back into that as the flow of it goes. So maybe our memes will eventually not regress, but will go back into that as it begins to the ebb and flow of what we're used to.
Right. Because I feel like it's not like fashion in the way that we look at it and we say, "Oh, that was like tacky." It's like this weird thing where the older memes made more sense, I feel like, to more people.
Oh,
like, you know, they were more like, they had a much more structured like flow of logic.
Here,
than
I
these
suppose.
Let me explain
Yeah.
that in terms of like movies. Like back in the day, the first movies that were made were the broadest appeal. Like everyone can enjoy this. And then suddenly you get into nowadays, and it's just like, yeah, we made a silent movie about like I didn't see The Lighthouse, but my friend described it as Robert Pattinson jerking off 3 separate times in a black and white film. And like that's a weird movie. That's
And
not
William Dafoe farting.
and it's not something they would have made back in the day. Or, you know, like it just, as things grow, people start to have their own spin on it, and it gets weird. Or you could talk about art. You know, art back in the Renaissance was very like, oh, that's a beautiful painting. It looks nice. It's you know, Mary holding baby Jesus or angels coming from heaven. And then you get to like now, and it's like, I put 4 squares, or I taped a banana to the wall, and that's art. And it grows and becomes so. We can almost relate it to the genre discussion of like, here it is at its core, and then everything exploded, and it went every direction possible, like a spilled drink of just flowing every way it can, finding every nook and cranny of like society. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote down some of the weird ones I found, and I want to bring them up. So.
Okay.
I saw this one. You guys know the children's books that had like the gold binding on the sides? It was like gold and black binding.
Sure.
And it was 2 teddy bears walking
Right.
through a forest with a picnic basket. And the title of it said, "The Awkward Walk Back from Disappointing Forest Sex." And that's a meme these days.
Yeah.
Or a teenager in a hoodie, and it says, "Walk into the club like, what up? I got a, oh God, oh no. Wrong building. I'm so sorry. Continue with your funeral. God bless." Like, it's crazy. Like the fact that that's a thing that a lot of people. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I couldn't come up with that, but it's funny.
I thought that you reading them to us was not going to be funny, but it was. I don't know.
It worked out. Honestly, without the image, it still worked.
Yeah.
And he's still got this deadpan look on his face. Like, he doesn't look happy. He doesn't look sad. He just looks like a robot. It's great. And it's deep fried, too. If you don't know what deep fried memes are, they, like, look fuzzy or, like, more red than normal. I don't even know how to describe it. Just some weird After Effect thing.
So I thought I might bring up some old school memes. See if you remember them.
Okay.
Get those nice nostalgia, that nostalgia going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Doge,
Yeah.
which was big,
Yeah.
which started up, I want to say 2010-ish,
So mean.
and picked up. It lasted. It was a long lasting meme,
Yeah.
which was what was it, a Shiba Inu?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or something, and it was like it would like have the image of the dog making that dumb face, and it would have text around it that said stuff like very space or like much fast, or like things like that.
That's still
Always wow.
Yeah.
I want to point
Always
out
wow.
that Joey and I are both chuckling. That seems to have held up with time.
Yeah.
It's a funny way of describing things.
Here's another one, Grumpy Cat,
Which cat was good.
which would generally, you would say like something bad happened followed by the image of Grumpy Cat saying good. If I remember correctly, Grumpy Cat actually recently died.
The actual cat.
The actual cat.
And that cat got like really famous. It got to meet a bunch of famous people. I remember seeing a picture of Stanley pretending to be Grumpy right next to him and all that.
Yeah, he would go to conventions. He was very very popular. Success Kid,
Yeah,
which was
with
the
the
little
fist.
toddler, like making the fist and like the look of like, yeah, I did it.
Who's got to be at least 13 now? Like,
Yeah, he's a teenager now, if I remember correctly. So that one was 2008. It became popular.
That feels like almost being the equivalent of the Nirvana baby, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. And he, so
Can I tell a quick side
his
story?
real name is Sammy Griner.
Huh.
And essentially you would post that image, and you would just sort of say something you did recently that you were successful at and you were proud of, and you wanted to share with the internet, which was pretty wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was along those same lines, you get the awkward penguin and what was it, like insane courage wolf or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanted to tell a story?
Yeah, so it's completely unrelated. I think I read it on Reddit, and I think it was a true story. It was about none of this. I don't do any research. None of this is backed up. It's all alleged.
Let's just stop my segment so you can tell your story
It's
unrelated.
a quick side story. So Joey mentioned the Nirvana baby, and I remember hearing about how allegedly, I think, I can't stress that enough, but I think he would that guy nowadays, because he's a guy, would go into bars and use it as a pickup line of like, hey, do you want to see my penis again?
I feel like that was a joke.
Was it a joke?
I feel like it was.
Oh, well,
Isn't
that's why I said
wouldn't that
allegedly.
be like sexual harassment?
Well,
He said if you end it with again.
maybe it depends. It could just be considered a conversation starter. Like, just so you know, I was the Nirvana baby.
I don't think we want to define sexual harassment on this podcast.
That's a little weird to me. I'll be thrown off by that if somebody tried to pick me up. With
It
that.
could be a complete joke. It could be a complete non-true
It
story.
could, but-
Allegedly.
I was like, the again part is what got me.
Yeah.
You don't just start with that.
So here's one that's kind of a blast from the past. The Irma Gerd girl. It
Oh,
was the
yeah.
girl holding up like a bunch of goosebumps and making like a crazy face and she had pigtails.
Yeah.
And for that meme, you would post her and she'd be like Irma Gerd, and then you would like say another like noun or like a thing in that sort of weird text. It's a
Yeah,
really
spelled
like
wrong
low energy meme.
Yeah.
I was never a fan of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that actually, I forgot I wanted to bring this up. The Rooster Teeth, one of the websites out there, had like a documentary about memes and all that, especially like the older people of the overly
Right.
attached girlfriend and Chocolate Thunder guy and all that, and how they reacted to it. You know, they had like almost that like child star of like, I didn't ask for this and my life was ruined by it. Everybody just makes me that thing and I don't want it. You had people who leaned in on it, and it's interesting.
Didn't the guy who was Bad Luck Brian, didn't he like lean into it? or
Yes,
something?
he did. He absolutely did.
Yeah.
He also
That-
is a lot better looking than that picture.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It
for
happens.
sure. I mean, he grew up. Yeah.
Do you remember? I can't remember what the name of the meme was, but it was the guy. It was the high school teenager who was like concentrating super hard and turning red. And you can see the
Yeah.
veins in his forehead. He went to the same high school as overly attached girlfriend. They knew each other.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So like it's memes popping up in like two famous memes in the same school in the same class sometimes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So some other memes that this one I think has lasted long enough that it's still kind of popular is "Shut Up and Take My Money" from Futurama.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's a good one. Sad Keanu sitting on the
Yeah.
bench looking forlorn. Keanu has, I would say, while Sad Keanu has gone off, Keanu himself has taken off as a meme in general.
Unbelievably, he's got his own subreddit.
Exactly. So that's a good one. Then there's Good Guy Greg.
Yeah.
Who's good guy Greg?
It's the dude smoking a joint and wearing a blue
Yeah.
blue hoodie. He was always like, you would essentially just talk about someone who helped you out. In
He was
life.
opposite of that douchebag guy with that hat. And
It's
people just put
Scumbag
the hat-
Steve.
Scumbag Steve, yeah. And they put the hat on people, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, now you're a scumbag."
And for a while there was Scumbag Stacy, but that turned out to be like a model who had posted photos of herself, and then she sued like a bunch of people for posting it. And people were like, yeah, let's move on to other. We'll use other images for Scumbag Stacy. So that escalated quickly from Anchorman. That's a big one.
oh yeah,
And then Disaster Girl, which is the girl looking back at the camera while the house burns in the background.
oh, there's like a little girl, right?
Yeah.
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 And then last but certainly not least, one does not simply walk into Mordor.
That was a big one. That's a real big one.
And of course, in general, Sean Bean also had the Blank is Coming because of Game of Thrones.
So we got to talk. That brings up the next thing I wanted to talk about: the cultures on Reddit. There's different subreddits for There's Lord of the Rings memes. There's the Star Wars memes. There's the Free Folk or the Game of Thrones memes, and like all these and they had like meme wars where like they would align with each other. Of like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars would go up against Free Folk and.
You also see the prequel memes going up against sequel memes for Star Wars.
Yeah, and then there's equal memes, are equal memes, and they're like everything goes, and it's so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely a culture of memes going off and battling each other. It would be interesting to see what would be considered like the royal court of memes, the memes that have lasted and rule over all.
Yeah,
like would Shrek be king?
Oh, Shrek would be up there.
Shrek has a lot.
He has a lot of them.
But I actually since I brought up Bad Luck Brian, I've seen people posting like Bad Luck Brian's again, and it made me feel like uncomfortable. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, like coming back. It had its time.
You were talking earlier about how like there's a nostalgia factor to memes and just like a culture thing of like how we have like a big 80s thing. We're starting to be more like 90s and we go through that rotation. I think that there's always that like 30-year thing of like nostalgia that comes around. A lot of the 80s movies were set or had to do with the 50s, like Back to the Future. And then nowadays there's a lot of 80 things like 30 years ago, like Stranger Things and all that. Or Wonder Woman 1984. So will memes get their own nostalgia rotation? Are we going to go back to Awkward Penguin and all the Things guy and the Rage comics? Are those going to come back as a nostalgia trip?
Maybe eventually. I mean, I think Pat was kind of touching on that earlier. He talked about it a little bit, how we look at when he compared it to the fashion and stuff like that. Like, so I think that kind of implies that maybe it will rotate at some time.
That would be really interesting. I mean, memes are such a new thing along with the internet. It kind of, we don't know where we're going next. Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to predict any memes that are coming next?
I don't know. I just know there's probably going to be a lot with the election.
Yeah. It's a big.
That is certainly, we're going to see a lot of. We've already started to see some in the primaries, but once the actual head versus head, whoever goes up against Trump, we're going to be seeing those two get memed to hell.
Yeah. Like just last night, I think Chris sent a Bernie Sanders meme or something like that.
Right, exactly. Bernie Sanders has been good for some memes, especially I'm once again asking for your financial support memes.
Any like big movies you think? Because like we talk about how Endgame and all that. There's always memes tied to the big cultural thing. And in terms of movies coming out this year, I can't think of one in particular that would be the giant that's just going to have.
Yeah, there's no big Star Wars or like Avengers style movie coming out this year.
Dune maybe in December?
Dune, I don't know it depends on if Dune will be popular.
Yeah.
If something really takes off, then sure. But I don't think so.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And do you guys have any random guesses of like, this one, like a cat dog is going to come back as the big meme of the year? I love just predicting stuff. It's fun.
I'm trying to think of a really weird show that people would just go back and see to pull like the one image and one frame, like kind of like what they do with SpongeBob.
Or like Big Chungus.
Big Chungus, yeah.
Which was a half frame of a single episode.
It's half a frame?
It's super fast. Yep. He briefly turns fat and then just goes back.
Yeah, that dominated it. You heard everybody talking about it. I don't know. I could see Doug.
I could see Doug, maybe.
With his dog pork chop and all that,
Yeah, that could be a good one.
I feel like somebody's going to go back and find something else that hasn't been done with Ed, and Eddie as yet.
Yeah. I tend to be surprised we don't see more Simpsons memes. They're out there, but I feel like with as much content as they have.
Yeah. So I think Simpsons has an issue of basically predicting the future too much that people don't meme it.
Yeah.
It's too real.
Yeah, it's like comes too close to home.
I was thinking maybe Real Monsters, and I don't know why that came to my head, but maybe that.
This is just something about me personally. I hate that era of cartoons when it was so weird and the Angry Beavers,
that's a whole different
the
discussion.
Cat Dog. I'm all against it. Not for me.
That makes me so mad at you.
Things were better with SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, and Fairly Odd Parents.
All right, you gotta go.
Fairly Odd Parents, they have good memes. too.
Yeah. I think SpongeBob reigns king in terms of like cartoons or kid shows.
I would say it has some popularity, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
I do love me some Ed, Edd n Eddy memes, though.
I'm not too familiar with those. I might have to look those up.
I don't know. I gotta pee real bad, and I'm just trying not to think about that.
What good drinks have you guys had recently?
Is that a meme conversation?
No, I'm just being mean to Joey.
Are we just grasping at straws now?
I think we can table the meme conversation.
I think so.
Okay.
So
So yeah. So thanks for listening. We appreciate that. Let us know your thoughts. We'll on Instagram and Twitter and all that. We'll be posting our favorite memes, and you can rip us to shreds or tell us that we are dink, and that's awesome. If you have any topic ideas, let us know. If you want to hear us talk about your favorite movie or one of your favorite bands put out like a great album this year, I don't know. Just let us know. We are open to that. If you did not know, we have listening goals for the year. If we can get an episode with 50 lessons, we will do a drunk episode. It will be entertaining because we'll have alcohol and then we'll say funny things. If we get 25 subscriptions on YouTube, we're only 15 away. All you have to do is click the button subscribe, and then you are entered into a raffle for a $25 gift card to Amazon. So that would be nice. And then Apple, if we get 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, 25 times, we got a mystery surprise for you guys. So you don't know what's coming, but it'll be good. I can assure you that. But before we get all there, Tom, what's going to be our topic next time?
Our topic for next week is how do we make Brian's head a meme? Let us know in the comments below.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Also, I've been playing Stardew Valley over again, and Marnie in that game, the owner of like the animal seller or whatever, she never does her fucking job. She's never there.
She works 2 hours a day.
I know, it sucks.
Tom, play on Xbox so we can play together.
Pat, you want to share your friend code for Stardew Valley?
Nope.
That's because Pat respects this podcast, Tom.
Actually, kind of speaking of making a meme out of your head, you've been memed a few times within our friend group.
So at this point, it is time to move on and not mention that.
Maybe that could be a listening goal. We'll post a meme
Devontae,
of you.
please, Devontae.
Now we're going to hit pause.